Hey everybody, it's AltaGuide, and welcome to your favorite podcast with your most unfavorite people, Friday Night Skype. We have the usual cast of everyone, including a drunken Bulbasaur, and the newest member to Friday Night Skype, NESJonny.
Hello.
Yay! Likes Pikmin and Nuzlocke. NESJonny, tell us a bit about yourself. What's your favorite game? 10 seconds to respond, or go.
Pikmin 2.
E.T. Oh, good. It's going to be E.T. for the Atari 2600. Got it. Wow, you really hit the ball on that one.
Fair choice.
Oh, yeah.
NESJonny, a bit about your channel. You've been a big fan of FNS for a long time, I hear. You've apparently watched every single one of our podcasts.
Yeah, I thought I did, and then apparently there was one, because I watched them all to Johnny Cage's channel, and then there was one that he wasn't there, with, like, Zodiac X Theory or whatever, so I watched that.
Oh, yeah, that was what a mess. I remember listening to that one, and B-Dude's just like, Johnny, you gotta be here to save us. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. You know how to break down the fucking podcast. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody here to throw bottles at people.
Valid point. Not drunk enough.
NESJonny, on your channel, it's hard to not notice you've been liking a lot of the Nuzlocke, and I kind of feel that you've stolen that idea from me. No, I'm just kidding. But, I'm just kidding. Nuzlocke Plants vs. Zombies. But I mean, like, Nuzlocke Pikmin, Nuzlocke Pokemon, Nuzlocke
I never
freaking...
did Nuzlocke Pokemon. I might do Nuzlocke Pokemon Coliseum.
Isn't that the only real Nuzlocke, actually?
I heard it's a Nuzlocke Super Metroid right now.
How do you Nuzlocke these games? You just say that they're Nuzlocke?
Okay, well, Johnny, basically...
You just walk in, I'm Nuzlocking this.
I make up my own set of rules that I have to.
NESJonny, so who actually inspired you to do those Nuzlocke Let's Plays?
It was me. I told him about Super Metroid. He's like, oh, that's the best Nuzlocke game to play. I was like, do it. So here we are.
The game got famous from being Nuzlocked, I believe. Yeah.
It's the game to Nuzlocke.
Well, I mean, I saw AltaGuide's Plants vs. Zombies Nuzlocke. I was like, oh, well, Pikmin's an easy game. I could probably create a Nuzlocke mode of that, and I did.
Ta-da! There was me all along.
Yeah, at least you're finishing them up, unlike Alta with this Plants vs. Zombies.
Hey, look, a distraction. NESJonny.
Johnny, if you want to know how to Nuzlocke run Super Metroid, let me just explain to you. Once you run out of missiles, you can no longer use those missiles ever again. So once you run out of Super missiles, you can never use them again.
Well, no, what I was thinking is I could only collect, because in Pokemon Nuzlocke you can only catch the first Pokemon you get per area. So I was thinking you could only collect one pack of missiles or one pack of super missiles per area.
Or you can only collect the ones you're allowed, that's obviously to get. All the ones you have to actually search, you can't get those either. And if you die going one way, you have to chain break the game and go the opposite way. Like any normal person would play Super Metroid.
I didn't think about that. I was just gonna say you can't die, and then every time I died, I just restart the recording. Kind of like what I've had to do with Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, that's cheat.
Yeah. Well, it's Nuzlocke. You can make any rules you want. In fact, when you get a game over, you've actually...
You want me to end the LP on episode 3? No.
That's
when you die, you lose the Nuzlocke run, don't you?
Yeah, that's the whole point, NESJonny.
I forgot about that.
He's a fake. NESJonny's a fake.
You are a fake. You're a fake Nuzlocke runner. You're worse than Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is real.
He's just a really bad Nuzlocke runner.
Hey, Billy?
Yeah, really.
What, Ulta?
Father's dead.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about that Xbox thing that's gonna happen?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, we're
I heard that you can play sports games and Call of Duty games, but that's it.
The Xbox One lets you watch TV.
Does it really?
So does
it just lets you sit there and watch TV with all your friends like you should be able to, right?
What if at E3 they're like, the whole thing was just a joke? It actually is a TV.
Honestly, that'd be the best move on their part. To integrate TV with the freaking game.
No, it's not even a console anymore. It's just straight up a TV.
I hate you.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, is win the entire living room. It's not necessarily win the console.
Like, they're trying to do like what they did with their the computer. They're trying to get one to every single home.
Yeah, because I mean they're really competing against probably Apple more so than Sony and Nintendo. I mean. Yeah. Because I think Apple, if you give them the opportunity, they're going to start getting into the living room scene, and they'll have all sorts of shit that they probably have already.
They already have. You ever heard of the Apple TV?
You know, I was going to say I've heard of it, but I've never set foot in an Apple store. don't know.
My dad and some of his buddies have the Apple TV. It's a little bitty box, like it's about the size of like a hamburger, right? Plug it into your. You could if you like hot sauce.
I do.
Plug it into your TV, and you can stream anything from your computer. You can also play Netflix or rent movies and all sorts of malarkey.
That's
You can play a Pandora. It's actually really cool. But it's like $100.
I'm going to call it right now. Once Valve releases their console, they're going to win everything.
Well, they kind of have already. I think if you're just like, I don't know if saying a casual gamer or a hardcore gamer really matters, but I think honestly the best way to go is just to get yourself a really nice computer, because you're on the computer all the fucking time anyway, and you can play your Steam games. And I mean, Steam has changed the world of gaming. A lot of people forget that we were still paying $60 for games back in like the NES and Super Nintendo era. You know?
I still am paying $60.
I mean, the prices for games really haven't gone up that much, but Steam's the first, company to come around, Valve rather, first company to come around and really start to like, okay, this game just came out, boom, 10% off. It's like, oh, this game's been out for a month, 50% off. That on top of every other awesome sale that Steam has. It's just the way to go if you're a gamer. You can use, you can use a 360 controller, just use it on your computer like it's no big deal. So I wouldn't see why that would not be the best way to go.
Yeah, I'm really scared to see Nintendo die off, to be honest.
They did it to themselves.
They've already dead.
Them? Dude, look, the Wii U gaming pad is so complex to program. It doesn't follow C++, it doesn't follow any ingenuitive process that every other gaming console or gaming mechanic has. It's a completely new set of programming. It's so frustrating to work with and you have to. It's basically you have to incorporate it in every single game. Nintendo has literally dug themselves into the grave because no one wants to program for this. EA completely said no. Ubisoft, I'm pretty sure, was the other company that said no more. So
yeah, well, I mean, Pikmin 3 looks beautiful now. That's all I can say.
That's been in production for a long time though.
Oh yeah, it's been delayed 2 times. It's finally coming out on August 4th though. Man, I'm so excited for that.
But I mean, like,
cool.
What else are they gonna have on there? I mean, literally, I was playing it, and for a while, it was pretty cool. Like, they have some good games on there. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it's literally just like it's a Wii with a iPad.
You know what they should have? I heard it in an episode of the Game Grumps. They should totally have a new version of Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It makes so much sense.
The gamepad would be a camera.
With the pad,
Man, that'd be so cool.
And you can move it around. You can get up and you can move and you can turn it backwards. And yeah, that would be awesome.
I freaking love Pokemon Snap. That game is great.
Yeah, that was actually honestly Pokemon Snap was a real like sleeper hit. It's like, oh, okay, just trying to cash in on the Pokemon franchise, and like, shit, I can't get enough of this taking picture thing. Amazing.
Yeah, really kind of basic concept, but.
Did you guys hear about Xbox has this like little room, like I forget what it's called, but it's basically like when somebody throws a grenade in Call of Duty, you'll see it roll out from your floor. Like it has these little light sensors. And they're going to start incorporating like objects and stuff like actually in your environment, projecting from a little sensor bar onto your physical environment.
That's interesting.
So you can hide behind your couch while you're watching TV.
Yeah, dude.
You say Xbox, watch
can't
TV.
already do that with the Wii U.
And Xbox gets up and
What do you
watches
mean?
TV.
What do you mean already do that with the Wii U?
Because you can hide behind your couch watching TV on the gamepad. No. Okay.
No, you just make fun of my little insight. Why don't you? I'm just gonna go home now. Pet my
Make fun of
dog.
me all the time, Dilly.
Shut up, noob. You
Well,
can't play Super Metroid.
Well, I've been enjoying it a lot. I just
Good.
put it down
I'm glad
right
you
now.
enjoy dying. You should play Dark Souls. Dark Souls 2 is
know
coming
who
out
else?
soon.
like dying.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what games are all about.
dying.
That's why we learn to fall down.
Then we get back up and collect our souls.
Just to give you guys a little idea of what's been going on today with Xbox, because there's a lot we can talk about with this, since it got revealed. But this is the stuff that just got confirmed today, and I've seen a couple reports about it. And the short of it is that there are going to be no used games on the Xbox One unless the developer allows you, and you then have to pay for them. You cannot.
Yeah, what I heard about that is you have to pay $35 to.
Yeah, it's something like $35. It will depend. It'll depend on the developer, I assume.
That's stupid. That is so dumb. I remember like
it's
trading
not.
games
It's
with my
not
friends.
dumb. It's gonna fuck up GameStop's market. Just think about that, man. It's gonna
I hate
fuck
that.
up. Yeah,
Well, did you?
it really will.
They didn't even. I forget who tweeted, but it might have been the CEO of GameStop actually. But they had no idea that Microsoft was doing this when they had the whole no used games thing coming out, and but they're gonna die a slow and painful death. It's gonna be like Blockbuster Video. It's gonna take like a decade for them to really
I sure
die.
hope they do. I freaking hate GameStop.
Well, all real gamers hate GameStop. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But okay, so you can't rent games. You can't give a game away to anyone unless they've been on your Xbox friends list for at least 30 days, and then you can only do it once, and that person can't give it to someone else in the future. So
That's stupid.
yeah.
No,
Hey
no,
guys,
I
you know
don't
how
think
people
it's-
like to play
I
games? Let's make it really hard and make it so they can't do it for fun anymore.
Mhm.
I don't
That
think
sounds
it's
like a
stupid.
good
There-
idea.
There's a huge problem with piracy, and they're trying to stop all the bullshit with GameStop's market without jacking up the prices of used games, which I think is cool. and they're trying to bring in a new set of rules into the gaming world. Like, things are starting to get more strict. And you know what? I mean, like, why don't we just give it a shot? We buy new games anyways. We all buy games and they come out anyways. I bought Dishonored. Johnny, didn't you buy Borderlands 2 for God's sakes?
Yeah. Well,
Who you
Borderlands.
gonna rent that out to? Like, honestly, who you gonna rent that out to?
I don't know. Somebody that might want to rent it out. Well, okay, we can say, but there's a big community even on YouTube, people that just trade games to one another.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly saying this is probably gonna be the last generation of games I'm gonna buy.
It's really
I'm not-
weird. It's a really
I'm not-
strange
Pikmin
time
3
for
and new
games.
Smash comes out, then
I'm not getting the new gen consoles. It's
Well,
just-
Here's the thing.
but-
Here's the thing. Like, Microsoft's being really arrogant about this, and they can do it. Rightfully so, they can be, because people are still going to buy the system. I don't think that the Xbox One,
yeah.
despite how informed we are about it, I think the average guy that doesn't really look at gaming news, just plays it Xbox because it's a Call of Duty box. They're going to go out and they're still going to buy the system, not really knowing what they're getting themselves into. And that's the scary part, because there's been some weird stuff. Like, the Kinect's always got to be connected to this, and they filed a patent with the MPAA, the Motion Picture Association of America, that they can kind of watch how many people are in the room at once. And if it's enough people, like if you gather together for like the Super Bowl, or you want to watch like something, of that magnitude, and you get enough people together, they can actually charge you, because it would be the equivalent of holding an event of sorts. I mean, it's all still very shady.
What the heck?
But the thing about all this is that, I've talked to people about it before, and I've seen a lot of people say, well, just put a towel over it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's stupid as shit, but I guess it might solve your problem. But the thing is that you're still supporting this if you buy the system. And whoever wins the console wars is going to be the person that has the most money. And if Xbox does this, and they make a lot of money out of this, everyone's going to follow suit. And we're just going to be really screwed in the future. So that's really the reason you can't support this.
It's a good thing we're retro guys, eh, Johnny?
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only real problem we'll have is like with the new gamers, like people like your age, NESJonny, is people like not knowing that. I really think that's the only generation that's gonna like pursue this. I don't think it's gonna like cause a huge problem. To be honest with you.
I think it could cause a huge problem.
I mean, I don't know anything about the PS4 yet. I mean, are they gonna do anything
We
Microsoft
don't.
does?
Well, I mean, what did they almost don't have to do anything. I mean, considering the hole that Xbox has dug itself.
Look at it. Microsoft has dug a huge hole for themselves. Nintendo has no idea what the fuck is going on. So Sony can't lose. There's no way they can fuck up as bad. Like, the bar is set so low. There's just no way they can screw it up.
Yeah,
Now,
and they
hold on.
really like making super powerful systems running super smoothly and giving you the shit that Microsoft doesn't give you. They love doing that. So I think Sony will redeem us in a way, and the Steam console as well. I don't think we're going to be sunk into a hole where like we're going to start getting fined
here's how
out
it's
the
gonna
ass.
happen.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
No, Sony
Yes.
will be on top for a while until good guy Gaben comes with his Valve box or whatever the hell they call it. And then obviously Valve is going to own like the whole console thing because all the games. I'm pretty sure I've heard rumors like about this thing Johnny, do you know anything about it?
Not really. I've seen like pictures of it, that like prototypes of what they're gonna do with it, but I really don't know anything. But could you imagine if you had like Gabe come out like unexpectedly at E3 and he's just like, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a Steam box. It's gonna be really cheap. We're still gonna have all the sales on it that we have on Steam regularly, and a launch title for it is gonna be Half-Life 3. And
That would be ridiculous.
You know how crazy shit would be then? The whole world would be turned upside down if they did something like that.
I hope that happens now, Johnny.
Has anyone taken the time to consider there is a chance or possibility that Microsoft is in fact patenting all these things so that no one else can use them or screw them over? Like literally patenting these things so that no one else can use them.
Well, good. They can have it because when they go under, it'll go with them, and then somebody else can get it later. So I don't care.
I don't know. Microsoft's not going to go under, though.
No, they won't go under. Like they can
doesn't matter.
Billions. They can lose billions on the Xbox.
This can be a commercial failure as big as commercial failures get, and it won't matter. And they'll still probably continue to make Xbox. It'll just be more every next generation of it will be more geared towards being just part of your living room setup, making it easier to check your fantasy teams for your football and your basketball and shit like that. I don't know though, but I mean at the same time, we're 2 days now away from E3, and it will be interesting to see what happens.
Speaking of E3, they just confirmed that there's going to be a Smash Bros. Trailer.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
They're going to be releasing, showing
I want Mega Man
for it and stuff.
I want Mega Man.
Mega Man would be cool.
Couldn't they have Mega Man? Is every character in Smash Brothers licensed Nintendo character?
Well,
no, it's not Snake and not Sonic.
Well, not except for Sega.
Miyamoto said, or who was it that's working on the Smash Bros. Game? Not Miyamoto.
I guess Snake's there.
He said he wanted to include a Capcom character, so.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, because there definitely will be new characters, and, Smash Brothers is always a good time.
I will be the best at Smash Bros. I have to get the new one.
Hello?
But, we'll see what happens with that.
Nintendo can still redeem their failure with the Wii U with Smash Brothers, I think.
One title's going to save their entire console?
I would buy the
No,
Wii
not
U.
save their console, just it would be like, okay, we finally have a game people will buy. Kind of deal. I mean, they're going to make their money back on Pokemon X and Y. Like, the handhelds, just you can't go wrong with them ever. Like, Nintendo owns that shit.
Yeah, they really got the handheld market. Like, they have that, and they're probably never really gonna fail because of it. But they might, at some point in time, stop doing home consoles.
They need to just go ahead and make a new console right now.
They should probably have. They already own it.
They really just need to go ahead and just make a new console right now.
They need to go back to the roots, make an 8-bit console, and just start making retro-style games again.
An 8-bit console that you can just plug into your brain and just use your mind to play.
Oh, dude, mind games.
You know what they should just do? Or they should just make Final Fantasy 1 for the NES, and that's it.
They just poop on you. You just pooped and everything, Ulta.
They just pooped.
No.
It's a pooping machine.
Alta just pooped it all.
No, they should
Good
just
work
make
with that
Final
poop
Fantasy
there,
1.
Alta.
The NES,
Ulta,
just keep making cartridges.
I pooped right where you're standing.
I'm not standing anywhere.
Oh, well, I pooped there.
Oh, good.
Actually, that brings up an interesting... Let some theories say that Nintendo looks at their retro game look at everyone that collects retro games. What if they went back and said, okay, let's just make the NES again, put all the parts into production? Johnny, what would that do to the retro video game world?
I don't know. It would be weird.
Like what? Like I'm saying we could suddenly go into any Walmart, be like, one little Samson, please.
One little Samson.
It
Well,
would,
I mean, all
it
those
would obviously
games.
depreciate everything. Everything would go back to being the way it was, and wouldn't nothing be rare anymore. It would,
Yeah, they're finally. Are you guys aware that they're releasing Earthbound on the Virtual Console finally?
Yay!
I don't know.
I
where
guarantee you, there's going to be so many edits to so many things to it.
Oh
though.
yeah. Well, I'm sure it won't be as the original was, but
I know for a fact that they had to take out the Dali's clock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was something. I think they had to take out the
Beatles
Yellow
song.
Submarine.
There's a lot that you could potentially have to take out of Earthbound. There's no doubt about it. But Yeah, that's interesting. So you can probably expect the price of Earthbound to go down a lot in the future.
One, it's on the
great.
Virtual Console.
But what else was I going to say? Oh, I was talking before. I was thinking about Snake in Smash Brothers, and they're having. Did you guys know that Kiefer Sutherland is going to be the new voice of Snake in the 5th Metal Gear game?
What? There's a 5th Metal Gear coming out?
Yeah, it looks really awesome. You got to check it out. You're like,
Is it still Snake?
it's still Snake. Yeah, it's like he's like
What is
49
it? What?
years old.
No, but he hadn't. Have you played the Metal Gear series?
No, I really hardly know shit about Metal Gear.
Okay, well, if they make a Metal Gear 5, Snake had an accelerated aging process because of the Fox die virus. It fucked up his genetics.
Mhm.
And they didn't cure it, and he was getting really old really quick. And plus, he still smokes like a fucking chimney.
Well, of course he does. He's Snake.
I don't understand how they can make him do more stuff. Like, he's just got to be so fucking old he can't do anything.
I don't really know. That was like the only news to come out of like Konami's kind of like I don't know, conference of sorts. Konami just had their conference like a couple of days ago. They're not going to have an actual conference at E3, but they didn't have much to say anyway. That was the biggest news by far, was that Kiefer Sutherland's gonna voice Snake. And then they had other stuff about some of the other games, like the new Castlevania game and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter.
I can't believe they're getting rid of David Hyder. He's been this voice of Snake since Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of just fan reaction to it. They're like, "Why are you getting rid of him?" And they're not saying anything. Like even Hideo Kojima, like he's literally like, I don't know, not giving him any sort of send off, not giving him any sort of recognition for all the work that he put into those games and how he really made Snake the badass character that he is. But I don't know. I wonder how they parted ways, if it was on good terms even.
I bet he embezzled money and they're like, all right, fuck you.
Yes, he embezzles money for a company he's not an employee of.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's how I do it. That's how you do it. Don't get caught. Unless you get caught, then you have Kiefer Sutherland take your role, and that's gonna piss you off, right?
Is that what happened to Patrick Swayze in Lost Boys?
Oh shit.
Oh, good old Lost Boys. That's a good movie. Well, what else can we talk about? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a YouTube Skype talk without talking about Nintendo.
Dark Souls. Oh.
Fuck Dark Souls, man. Jesus. Stop playing that rubbish.
It's not rubbish. Don't you dare call it
I know,
rubbish.
it's still like one of the most popular games being sold today. It's crazy. People love that
It's
shit.
good. It's crazy
So
good.
let's talk about Nintendo and YouTube. Johnny, go.
Nintendo and YouTube. So Nintendo has decided to file claim or make some sort of a business arrangement with YouTube that they
You're
are
gonna steal
getting,
all the money.
they're getting all the monies, all of the YouTube monies, as in ad revenue from games that are Nintendo games. I wish I knew more about like where the buck stops with what's technically a Nintendo game and what's not. Like, just because it was licensed by Nintendo, does that constitute it as a Nintendo game?
It means Chuba
From what I
Conroy and
understand,
Nintendo
yes.
Price on isn't going to get no more of the money.
Yeah, apparently Chugga Conroy's out of a job. That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, but he really does like first-party titles, though. He does like a lot of Zelda and Pokemon and shit, right? I don't know what Chugga Conroy does. What does he do?
All Nintendo games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because that's where I've not been able to figure out. It's like, okay, like when you think about it, the only real like, Nintendo IPs, the big games, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, but then like, me being a retro gamer, I'm mostly playing, NES games where a lot of NES games are third-party games, so does that constitute as a Nintendo game? I mean, I don't know. I guess if they own the rights to it now, then yes, I guess it is a Nintendo game, but...
I mean, was Final Fantasy 1 a Nintendo game?
I mean, so far, though, I have not seen anything from Nintendo on my channel. Like, I have Mario Galaxy and stuff up there. I check. I don't have any stuff saying
even
I can't play it
Nintendo
anymore.
Capri Sun, I was watching some of his, because he was down in Atlanta with Proton John and Chugga, and he was looking at his videos, and none of his videos had yet to be flagged by us, but some of the other people had. I know Proton John had gotten some well, they're not really flags, but they're just like copyright notices, I suppose.
That's a flag.
No, I know what it is. It's a thing where it says this has third-party content before you can actually upload it, and you have to hit I acknowledge, and then it will say in your video content owned by... You can still have it up there, but any AdSense money goes to whoever, like I know for one of, I'm not even going to mention that video. I know for one of my Fallout videos, the money goes to, I think the money either goes to Bethesda or whoever wrote the song it was talking about when it gave me the copyright notice.
It's probably Liam Neeson. I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson gets all the Fallout 3 money.
You know,
Okay.
music does seem to be probably the biggest, trigger, obviously, because whenever you run a video through YouTube, it picks up on, like, the sound clips.
It's because
Oh, copyright.
Napster fucked us up so many years ago with their little copyright bullshit, and now
Napster.
music cannot be streamed. There's just so much bullshit about it. So that's why my music.
That's why I lower the sound volume on my games to like nothing, and then I talk over them.
Well, I think for the average Let's Player, it's not really a big deal. You have no more than maybe like 5 seconds or so where you're not generally saying something. So I don't know. It's weird, because sometimes you can have a video where there's lots of music playing and it doesn't get flagged, and sometimes the opposite and it ends up getting flagged. So it's tough to say.
I guess it just varies from music to music.
Yeah, it definitely does. No, but now let's talk about the business implications of this, because it's really weird that Nintendo is doing this, because really you're giving a game free advertising when you Let's Play it. And, fair use has always been a very gray area of the law as to what is, criticism and what's review and, but I don't see why they would want to do this, because it just makes people angry at them, and they're getting such a small amount of money when it comes down to it.
One thing I actually thought of about this is that if someone reviews a game, then they're saying like, okay, this game's good or bad, you should or shouldn't go buy it. But if someone Let's Play the game, they're playing the whole game. So someone watches and already knows and already saw the whole game, so why should they go buy it?
I have done this before.
Play it.
I get what you're saying, because I have done that before. I've said, okay, I'm interested in the game, but I'm too lazy to go out and buy it right now. Let's watch a Let's Play. So I'll sit down, watch a Let's Play of a game, and I go, that game was good. Guess I don't have to buy it now.
I do the exact opposite. I see a game, it's like, okay, is this game interesting enough? And I bought it. Like, because of Circuit Conroy, I bought Super Mario RPG for WiiWare. I bought many assortment of games. I went out and I bought Cave Store because someone said it was good. I bought Castle Crashers because I saw someone play it.
Was it Nappa and Vegeta? It was Nappa and Vegeta.
I'm pretty sure I have to say that unless the game has like replay value, I mean, like Dishonored doesn't have a lot of replay value. You could watch that LP and not have to buy the game. But like you could watch
It's a double-edged sword for sure. Like,
yeah, it really is.
Games I bought because I saw videos of them. That's actually why I got into TF2. I saw a video of it, of like the Spy, and I'm like, oh man, that's neat. I want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but it speaks to the whole video game market in general, that games are so cheap and just not really that impressive overall. They at least can't stand the test of time that well compared to how games used to be even just a couple generations ago. Like, what are games that have been out for like more than 6 months that people still play? Like, the only one I can really think of is Skyrim.
Dark Souls.
I don't know when Dark Souls came out, but yeah, that does seem to be up there though still.
So people keep playing Dark Souls because they haven't finished it yet because it's so freaking hard.
Yeah, well that's
You
true.
You can't even beat Demon Souls, Genray. Shut your mouth.
Gave up on that like the day after.
You couldn't even figure out how to level up your character. Damn it!
Because the damn thing didn't tell me. It's like
It's because you have to beat a boss first. You have to earn the right to level up in that game.
Okay, the fact that it didn't tell me how to level up, fine. The fact that it didn't even tell me, hey, before you can level up, you should go do this. That kind of annoys me.
Why does it annoy you? It's like it's real, man. You have to do it.
It's a tough game, man. It definitely is a throwback to the hard-ass NES games,
Where you just, the game starts. That's it.
No tutorial, no hand-holding.
Speaking of hard-ass NES games, I think those stand the test of time. I still go back and play my Mega Mans and my Marios.
I just do it because it's cheap. That's probably the main reason I'm a retro gamer. And that's also why I'm getting more into playing Steam games. Because I want to be more up to date on newer games that are coming out. But there's just so much shit out there that it looks, they're such short games, less than 10 hours in a lot of cases, and I don't want to pay $60. I don't even want to pay $30 for that, you know?
Yeah.
But I can get a game like, I don't know, any Mega Man game for me, honestly, and I can just sit there and I can get my money's worth out of it. For me, whenever I get a game, it's always been, I look at it in terms of dollar value to hours played. And if I pay like $5 for a game, and if I play it for 5 hours, then I consider that getting my money's worth, and that's how I've always viewed games. But there's so few games that I would play for 60 hours, you know, to get my money's worth out of a brand new title.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know what it is with a lot of games today. They're just, a lot of them are rehashes of games from before.
Or sequels to games just because, hey, it's a different game, new wallpaper.
Yeah, well, I was watching the video of the new game Remember Me by Capcom, and thank goodness Capcom is doing something that's not Street Fighter, you know? I'm a huge Capcom fan, but seriously, they just need to start working on new IPs, and it's a really interesting game because you pretty much manipulate time and you manipulate people's memory, but it's just not solid enough of a concept for me to want to go buy the game.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but a lot of games recently, especially for the last gen consoles, the 360, the PS3, look fantastic, and you see trailers and you're like, oh, this game's going to be awesome, and then you buy it and you're like, why did I pay $60 for this?
Yeah.
I usually pay $60 for a game because they offer me a free hat in TF2.
That's a good reason to do it. Because that hat might be worth $60 someday.
It's true.
Yeah.
It sadly is true. There are hats that are worth more than your house.
Yeah, well, that's the way life goes. Virtual hats. Ruin everything. Yeah, but, I don't know what was I going to say. Video games are weird. It's a weird time for video games in general.
One thing I want to bring up is, you know how like not the music, but the movie industry kind of leveled out. Like back in the day, everything was like, oh, I gotta be better than the last movie, you know. Well, I think that's really starting to happen to the gaming industry, really.
Yeah, well, they just find different angles to work. I mean, I think that I think Batman, Christopher Nolan's new Batman movies really helped because they took things in a really like darker, more relatable direction. And now at least you're seeing that from like every like superhero movie because they can do it that way, and superhero movies bring in a lot of money. But
also, don't forget it was Batman. That alone is revolutionary.
It's true. It was Batman. We'll see how Superman fares. Probably not as well, I'm gonna guess.
Superman isn't Batman.
Oh, valid point. Huh. Got me the whole logic there.
And the Arkham games actually did introduce that new fighting engine that everybody loves so much.
I was just about to say that. I was watching the Remember Me footage, and they have that same style of fighting to it, and it seems like it's like...
Just spam the left click button and win until you occasionally spam the right button to counter everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So did Sleeping Dogs, which is actually pretty good, but not worth $60.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they have at E3. Watch Dogs looks pretty cool. Being able to like hack stuff. You're just like some sort of like a hacker guy. I don't know if you guys have seen trailers for it or not.
Yeah.
But it looks like it looks honestly like Grand Theft Auto, but you're a guy that's like a master hacker, and so you can just get shit to like do crazy stuff for you because you can manipulate like every piece of technology around you, which is interesting. But yeah, check that one out if you haven't seen it already.
Speaking of games that are worth $60, but I didn't pay $60 for them, Steam and their awesome ability to be awesome. I got Arkham Asylum and Arkham City for $20.
Yeah.
So just want to throw it out there. When Steam makes their console, they're probably going to be the way to go.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Have you guys heard about that new game called A Hat in Time that's supposed to be like a Super Mario 64 Banjo-Kazooie style game?
I have heard of that.
Yeah, it's all started up on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. I forgot how I ended up being there, but it has like 3 times the amount of money that it needs.
Oh yeah, it looks great in my opinion. I can't wait.
I don't know, man. I just don't... I'm not big on those N64 games where it's just a collectathon, like Banjo-Kazooie, you know?
It got kind of annoying when I had to go back and forth between doors to get more notes. That pissed me off, but I like the concept overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, speaking of Kickstarter, this is in the geek world, not specifically like, electronic gaming, but someone was doing a Kickstarter where they were making a MMO card game.
Good Lord.
It was supposed to be part, player versus enemy MMO style, and part, player versus player, card game. And they wanted $300,000, and they got over $2.5 million.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Are people really that into card games? Seriously?
I mean, it only take, if it takes 20 million people giving like $10.
That's nuts.
Good least back.
I don't know what's going on. But I don't understand card games at all. I don't know how Pokemon is still as popular as it is. There can't possibly be... Do kids actually play Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, dude. The tournaments
Really?
are huge. There's a guy that I went to college with that, plays the Pokemon card game, professionally.
Holy
That's his
crap.
job.
I don't know how it works at all, but it just looks so boring. I play Magic, and I think Magic is enjoyable because there's a lot of strategy involved in it. Yeah. But whenever I see Pokemon, it's just okay, you put a Pokemon out in the field, and it has one move that you can do if you have the right kind of energy to use it, and that's it. And you can evolve it.
I know. I don't understand the concept either. All I know is I know a guy that he plays the Pokemon card game. It goes to all the card shops. They have their little tournaments, pays the $5 to enter. He always stomps everyone and leaves with $200.
That's insanity.
You ever see Jay Witz on YouTube? He's all about the card game, and he knows all the worth of all the cards and everything like that. It's crazy. Your first edition Charizard may not be worth $500, but it's probably worth about $90.
Oh, crazy video game, card game things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the original one for the Game Boy Color Pokemon trading card game. That one's pretty fun.
Looks terrible, though. Looks like a mess.
It is when you until you understand it. Once you play a few matches, it honestly is pretty good.
Oh, Pokemon.
He means aesthetically it looks like a mess.
Aesthetically, it does look like a mess.
It may, but the music is honestly some of the best I've heard.
It's probably not as ridiculous as Yu-Gi-Oh! At least, so it's got that going for it.
Main phase, battle phase, turn phase, Scruff, Uto. Yu-Gi-Oh!
They all have those kind of phases. It's not like a new concept. Magic had phases that nobody knew of half the time anyway.
Yeah,
I never got into Magic. I didn't know how to play it.
Neither.
I never, got into it. I was whatever.
It's not that complicated, really. It's really pretty easy to get into. I mean, you can make it as complicated as you want to make it, really. That's the great part about it.
I just know what a Black Lotus is.
There you go.
That's really all I need to know. If I ever see that at a flea market.
Valuable. That's what you need to know.
Yeah, that's all I know. If I ever see a card called Black Lotus at a flea market, just buy it.
Just buy it. Probably in your best interest.
If it's got the black border, it's worth more.
Oh man, I used to play, well, I guess I didn't really play, but I used to collect the Star Wars trading card game when that got really popular, which was around the time that it got re-released in theaters in 97.
Yeah.
And man, I probably only played the game. I can't remember how to play it at all anymore, but I played the game maybe once or twice because I used to have a card shop by me.
Yep.
One of those cool card shops where you could hang out and the same people were always there, seemed to live there, you know. And man, that game was so hard. But I still have some of the cards, and I remember looking it up maybe a year ago how to play it. And jeez, if you think Magic seems complicated, holy fuck, that was just a mess of just numbers and certain stipulations. And my god,
that card game had the quickest rise and fall of a card price I've ever seen. It was the game came out, and I'm assuming all of who watch Star Wars know who Wedge is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a card, Wedge Antilles, and he did something really cool, and within months of organized tournament play, someone found out how ridiculously awesome this card is when paired with like an X-Wing or some other card that common that everybody had hundreds of. So this card, which was only like an uncommon, went from being like $1 to like $30 a piece, and then they restricted it or something so you could only play one, and then it went back down to like $5.
Well, that's how like Magic cards work though too. It's like once a set becomes where you can't use it in tournaments regularly, then the price of those cards drop drastically. So if you get a good card, you just sell it right away unless you're a tournament level player. Man, when we start talking about card games, jeez.
Kickstarters.
Kickstart my card game, please.
TF2 hats are kind of like that, and the price, if they're banned from like... Well, I don't know. Some of those hats are nice.
Amazing nobody asked me about the card game I was doing.
Oh.
Yeah, again, Ray, tell us about the card game you're working on.
Yeah, well, the stupid program, like, deleted the set that I was making the card game in. So, like, I had to go find it again, and now it won't accept the set, so I can't even, like, do anything with that anymore.
Oh, that sucks. It seemed like it was coming along so nicely, too.
There was a card based on me.
Card based on everybody. I could just do FNS cards, like the one Johnny has on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that, like, Magic card, like, set editor for a while. That's just fun to play around with.
Yeah.
But nothing ever comes of it seems like. Anyhow, any final thoughts on what's going on? Video game world? Life?
I think in the video game world, Dilly DV left, sadly.
Dilly just got the hell out of here while the getting was good.
Now his internet died.
But yeah, I guess if there's anything that you can take away from this tonight, don't buy the Xbox One. Tell your friends that aren't aware of what's going on not to buy it. In fact, more importantly, tell parents that are just going to buy it for their kids at Christmas regardless because they're just going to think it's another video game system. So
I'd also recommend not buying the Wii U because there's only going to be like 2 games out on it. It is not worth the $400 price tag that is currently on it.
I recommend everyone going out and getting themselves a nice popcorn chicken, because apparently I can't. Uto, you freaking prick, buying your freaking popcorn and chicken over at KFC when I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to bottle it up for a while.
I could go for some popcorn chicken.
Yeah, you know what, Johnny? Everyone else can probably get it, but I can't where I live. This is
There's
not
no
gaming.
popcorn chicken at the KFCs in Fargo, so every time I go to KFC, I buy popcorn chicken and immediately turn my webcam on, and Alta watches me eat it.
Wow, that sucks. That's got to be the best thing at KFC.
Yeah.
Guess what? I can't get anymore. I went there. I was so happy. I'm like, I haven't gone to KFC in 2 years. I'm going to get myself some popcorn chicken because it's overdue. I went, and I'm like, I will order mashed potatoes, gravy, and 1 family size, because I eat the whole family size, bucket of popcorn chicken. And the guy's like, excuse me? I'm like, oh, sorry. I repeat my order. He's like, we don't have that anymore. I just stopped. Like, I just stood there in the drive-thru. People honking at me. I didn't know what to do with my life. I'm like, got anything else? He's
That's
like,
a
well,
real change the situation, man. It's time to move on.
We got these chicken bites. I'm like, okay. And they sucked. So, if you know what? Don't buy the Xbox One. Don't buy the Wii U. Don't rub it in my face. You can have popcorn chicken.
I will continue to do that last thing, however.
Or could you send me all the popcorn chicken in a place that will keep them fresh?
All right. Sony, dear Sony, what you need to do right now is you need to say the PS4 will play anything with the PlayStation logo. There, you have won the console war.
Well, that might work. I don't know if just giving them, the fact you can play PS1 games and PS2. That doesn't bother me as much as it seems to bother a lot of people, the backwards compatibility.
Well, I buy a new system, right? Mm. And I have all these games for the old system, and the new system should be completely capable of playing these games, and they just decided that they can't. Like, there's a DVD reader in there. There has to be, because it plays DVDs, but it won't play a PS2 game because they said no. Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange. I think that might play a lot into the fact that the PS2 is the best-selling system of all time. I mean, because it did it all. It was like, when having DVD record or players in there was brand new, and it played PS1 games.
Yeah, but if they...
I have PS2. Guess how many games I have for it? None. It's a DVD player. I bought it because it's a DVD player.
I will ship you a DVD player if you ship me that.
Okay.
But seriously, it's like, if you just said, all right, our new systems will be able to play the old system games, you can still manufacture and sell the old system games, and you will not have to manufacture or maintenance people's old systems. It's like you'd still be making money off the games because there's still plenty of PS2 games that are amazing and people should play. And it's like, we could still make these and make money off them, but we're going to make you buy an old console refurbished that we're not going to make money off of anyway because, you know, it's sitting at a GameStop.
Yep.
Which will die eventually because Microsoft.
Maybe. Who knows? Like I said, if it does, it will be very slow. It will be very painful.
I guess we'll find out on E3 in 2 days.
Yeah. We will.
What are you guys most excited for to see at E3?
Infamous 3.
Infamous 3? What? That's what you're most excited to see?
No, that's just the only game I could think of right now.
I want to see if Nintendo actually shows up, because I've heard rumors that they aren't, and I heard rumors they are.
No, they are. They're definitely, yeah. It's been confirmed that
Yeah,
they
it
will be
was
there.
confirmed that they're...
Yeah, they're not going to be having, like, the traditional on-stage presentation, but they're going to be doing something from the floor. So, yeah, they'll definitely be there.
Okay, I take that back. I'm waiting for Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 4.
I would definitely not be surprised if Fallout 4 gets announced. That seems like it's something coming. But I don't know. I'm not really particularly excited for anything. I mean, I think it's going to be a strange E3.
Yeah, if Good Guy Gaben comes out like you predicted and does that thing, then it will be the best E3 ever.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I guess I'm just most interested to see, just in general, how Microsoft plans on saving themselves, if they want to save themselves at all, and probably more than that, just what Sony is going to do now, given what they know about Microsoft and their strategy. So that's.
I want to see the next 3D Mario game. I'm hoping to make a Sunshine too. It's just me, though.
Maybe I have no idea about anything of that sort.
If they make a Sunshine 2, I'm probably will end up buying a Wii U after all. You know what? I retract my statement about not buying a Wii U. Go watch Nintendo's E3 shenanigans and then decide if it's worth it.
You know,
as of now, I don't see it justified to have a $400 price tag.
No, probably. Their one good exclusive game, Lego City Undercover, genuinely a fucking awesome game. It is literally as close to GTA as they could get, given it's a Lego game, and it is really genuinely very funny, the dialogue they have in it. So check it out. If you have a Wii U and you don't have that game, then shame on you, because you probably don't have that many games, and it's definitely.
I have a Wii U and I don't have that game.
Well, go buy it now.
I will eventually.
What are you gonna do, Johnny?
It's worth
what game you gonna buy?
Lego City Undercover.
Oh, you know what? You should see if there's popcorn chicken where you live.
Yeah, okay.
About popcorn chicken also.
It's a void in my life.
I'll get back to you on that.
Void in my life.
I also want to see if there's going to be any other. There's supposed to be 15 new IPs, I think, that Microsoft was talking about. Like that was their only thing they really had to talk about gaming related at their press conference, and I want to see how many of them are Kinect titles. Because I'm anticipating anywhere between 8 to 10 of them are Kinect titles.
Speaking of motion gaming, I think that, I don't know, I think the PlayStation Move was just a total failure.
Yeah, well, I don't... We'll see if Sony pushes that at all anymore, or if they're just going to let it go. Because I think of all of them, it did the worst.
Yeah, really.
But,
I played it before. It's not very fun. It's just like I'm playing a Wii again.
I don't think the Kinect's very fun. I mean, it's not that fun. It really isn't.
Yeah, the controls are kind of wonky, but that's because it's the sensor bar.
Yeah, well,
It's a really good $500 webcam.
Unless you're using it for,
You can buy it for $20 all the time.
Unless you're using it for, fitness purposes, or you're playing some sort of, doing some sort of workout thing, I'm not going to use it for a game that doesn't require it.
Yeah.
I mean, what was wrong with the controller? I thought that was fine. Seemed to work out for decades.
Yeah, what is it with everyone's going, oh, we don't want a controller anymore, we need to do something new.
Oh, buttons too complex for you, here's 2 sticks, wave them at the screen, have fun.
And fun was had by all.
The Wiimote, it was okay, until they did Wii Motion Plus when they made me play Skyward Sword. That was terrible.
What is Wii Motion Plus? I don't even know what that is.
It's a better programmed motion sensor.
It's not in the slightest. It's worse, if anything. Like, I could barely get the damn thing working.
Really? I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it. I don't know if I've ever used it.
I wanted to buy Skyward Sword, but I read online I needed the Wii Motion Plus, and I didn't have that, so I didn't get it.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I've only
I
heard
was
good stuff
looking
about
for
it.
Skyward Sword in Walmart the other day because I was curious if they still stocked it. They don't.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh, well. I'll buy it in 10 years when it's cheap.
It's cheap now. It's like, what, $15?
Oh,
Yep.
looks like some dinner.
Last
Now I know
time
what
I
I'm doing
checked,
this weekend.
3 months ago it was $19.99, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting older. It's probably, isn't it like a year old? Almost.
Its price plummeted so fast for a Zelda game, though. Like, Twilight Princess is still like $50.
$50, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Twilight Princess is fun. It's really
Yeah,
underrated.
It's a great game. It's not underrated at all. It's,
I don't hear people talk about it that much when they're talking about their favorite Zelda games, though.
yeah, just because it's not everyone's favorite Zelda game.
You know, everyone's gonna have a
like-
nostalgia boner for Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, like I do.
That's pretty
Or-
much it, yeah.
That's why. I love Twilight. I love Twilight Princess. I've heard people say, "Oh, you can't explore it," but I've also heard a lot of people like myself say, "Are you kidding me? Shut up! Give me some popcorn chicken." Anyway, any closing thoughts for Finesse? Because
It's gonna be an interesting next couple of days. Check out E3
Yeah, really.
if you get the chance.
check out E3. Tune in next time. Finesse.
Tune in next time. Yeah.
Yeah, Finesse. And B-Dude wasn't here.